Welcome back to Strong's Little Farmhouse. We're getting back at working on the barn. We have to break some ground and move some dirt around to put down a concrete pad foundation. And to do that, we had to bring in the heavy equipment. We've already put down the batter boards, the string line, and marked the perimeter of the foundation. If you'd like to see that process, click the iCard above and it'll take you right to that video. It takes a little practice to get all the mechanics of a machine like this to do what you want it to do, especially if you've never run one before. But with a little time and effort, Mark got it down, and in the end, we ended up with fairly level dirt pile, and now we just have to start working on the foundation. We are here building a barn, or at least we hope at some point we're gonna get this barn done. Last video, if you've been here before, we got our shed up finally, which was sort of our practice for laying a concrete pad on a small 9x16. So now we're taking on the barn. It is 24 by 36, and we're gonna do it by hand, just us two old fat people. Should be entertaining. We already got started. We've dug the ditch, and we have laid out the lines, and we've started the pavers. We're gonna finish off the pavers today along the back, and hopefully get the brick up before it gets too hard to work out here in the Texas sun. So let's hurry up and get this done. So we had quite a little adventure trying to find the right paver sand. Before you we have learned the hard way that you have to get paver leveling sand. This is different than paver base, which is very rocky and does not allow you to level out. It's got too big of rocks in it. Also, it's not the same thing as play sand, pool sand, or general purpose sand. So this is like general purpose sand. See, it's like sand at the beach. Look at it fall through the fingers, like sand in an hourglass. This means it's very shifty. And if you put down your paver stones on this sand, and you get it all nice and level, and all you do is step on it or lean on it, the sand shifts and you're no longer level. Which means if you're building something and you're building this, I call it a retaining wall. It's not really a retaining wall, but it's the foundation wall, because our land is slanted. On this backside we need a foundation wall. Then all the weight of the building is going to push that sand, and we're going to be out of level. The foundation is going to crack. The building's going to be a piece of crap, and we're not going to be happy after doing all this work. What you need is paver sand, paver leveling sand. See how it clumps? Now, this does not have cement in it. That's another thing. Don't get a cement sand. This is just a coarse sand, and when you put your bricks on it, it tamps and compacts and gets solid and does not shift. It also filters water away, so you will not get water under your foundation and cause things to move and shift again. So very important to get the right sand, because as you can see, we've been through a few of them. All right, let's get the next couple pavers down.
Okay, next.
Oh, sorry. Am I in the way?
Yeah, a little bit.
Come on! Work with me, Strong.
I'll work with you. I just want to have to work around you.
That's a long way to go.
jump to the next thing and it's your turn. Ow.
All right, Mark, go ahead and pour the next bag in our ditch.
So Carrie's gonna lay down a paver stone just to show you what we do. Basically just lay in the sand, try to get it as level as you can.
It's really an optical illusion a lot of times. What you think is level is not at all level. Which is why you need the level.
And she needs to leave enough space in between the thing for the mortar to go down into.
Oh, look at that. How's that? First shot. So you not only have to be level side to side here, but you need to be level front to back. That's not too bad. And I just need to also make sure that your brick is square and you're running along your detail line or your framing line. So you want to go take a look and see how we are?
All right, so what we're trying to do is we got to leave enough space. Of course, this is another area where you kind of got to be careful with your eyeballing, because if you move this way, whoa, we're way out. Oh, we're too far in. So you got to be directly over it as best you can. What we're trying to do is leave enough space on the outside of the brick, which is Carrie's attempting to demonstrate, to put the 2x4, not 2x4, but the framing wood on top of the cinder block so it's outside of our framing line. But we also want to use this framing line to square up the bricks to make sure they're in line. Let me get a little closer here.
How's it look?
Okay. Actually, that looks pretty good.
Okay, let's do the next one. You want to start with no sand next to your block here, because when you put down the paver, it's going to shove some sand up in there, which is okay, but you really need space for mortar to get down inside. And there's a very good chance that we're not doing any of this right, but as long as it has the end result is okay and will stay and will work, then we're good with it.
Oh goody, the sun's coming out. I was worried it wasn't going to get hot today.
I was worried it was going to be a cool day in Texas. Like that. So let's check for level. Just a little high on this end. I also want to check for overall height. Where is the
Tape measure's right over here.
okay. Woo, there's the sun. Still a little high on this edge. Where's the tape measure?
Right there.
Really low. I'm just afraid we're going level, but each block is getting lower and lower.
Should we check the level of the line to see how far off it is?
Yeah.
All right.
So, we've had a little issue. We did not double check our line level. I don't know if you can see it on the screen. We have this orange construction line. We put up batter boards, we put up the lines, we made sure they were level. This project has taken so long due to weather and everything that the lines got out of level. And in our haste to beat more weather, we just got started and we didn't double check the line level. Yes, that's correct. So much like woodworking, measure twice, cut once, line level twice, lay down the pavers once. But that's not what happened for us. So we flipped all the pavers off. We've got to bring everything down by almost a whole inch. And towards the end, it was actually getting to over an inch. So that's what we're doing now. Isn't it exciting? So Mark is going to start digging out some of the sand, and we're going to start re-leveling and lowering the pavers into the ditch. So exciting! Well, it is just too hot right now. We got a late start. It's like almost noon and the sun is directly overhead. We're gonna take a break. Okay, so here's where we are. We took a couple hours break, let the sun move across the sky. As the sun goes down, the shade's gonna grow, and I'm going to try to stay right behind the shade. I'm just going to try and get a few down. Might have to take another break because it is very warm and very humid, but this is Texas, baby. So let's just get going. Okay, one down, possibly 9, 10 more to go. It sure looks like it's going downhill to me, but our line is level. We have a line level on that. The measuring tape is measuring it exactly correct, and the level says it's level. So we just keep going. Optical illusion. Well, it took all day, but we finally got all of the pavers laid out and level. We used a few tile pieces that we had on hand as spacers to keep everything straight and square. And now we're ready to dry fit the cinder blocks. Okay, we're getting out here a little earlier today. It's already warm, but the sun is not directly out. There's some good cloud cover, so this morning we already got the pavers down yesterday. We had to redo it a couple times. It was not good. But today we're gonna first dry fit the cinder blocks along the back wall of the foundation, and then we'll put in the rebar so we know exactly where it's going to go, holding the wall into place and just putting a little bit more structure, and then mix the mortar and put this baby together and secure it down. We have to get it done today because next week's going to be rain, so this has to have a couple days to cure before rain comes. So we think we're going to get it just in time. Next week we'll be able to, after the rain of course, we'll be able to get the side pavers and blocks up to get this back end level, tamping, concrete, and then we're actually going to get to build something. So that's the plan. Let's make it happen. So I'm pulling out our little spacer stones we use to keep the bricks in alignment as we move the next one, and space for the rebar to go down between the pavers.
The tile pieces that we used in between the pavers was really a great idea because it gave us the perfect spacing for the rebar to go down in between the cinder blocks and the paving stones. It was definitely easier working with those small paver stones, getting them level, than trying to manipulate those heavy cinder blocks. After laying out the rebar, we went to work putting down the cinder blocks and building the back wall. We used the same technique for laying the brick and mortar here as we did on our shed foundation. So if you'd like to see a little more detail on the process, click the iCard above and it'll take you right to that video. Well, we barely beat the weather, but we did get the mortar and brick all in place, so we covered it and let it cure. After a couple days of curing, the results looked great, and now we're ready to move on to the next step. Don't forget to join us, like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video. Love ya! God bless.